Ighedosa's heart pounded. For years, he fought for his place. For years, he carried shame. And now, in the moment of peace, everything was shaking again. Efua steps forward, her voice sharp like a blade. If you are truly blood, why now? Why did you never show yourself when Ighedosa was suffering? Why only after he has built this place again? The stranger's eyes flicker with anger, but he forces a smile. Because I was in exile. But I have returned to claim what my father left for me. The people were torn. Some whispered, maybe he speaks truth. Others said, no. Ighedosa is the rightful one. But deep inside, Ighedosa felt a chill. The man's eyes, the way he smiled, there was something familiar. Something that smelled of the past. As night fell, Ighedosa sat beside Efua staring at the flickering lamp. What if he is real? What if all I fought for can be taken away in a moment? Efua, firmly, holding his hand, listen to me, Ighedosa, truth does not hide forever. We will find it. And if this man is a fraud, we will expose him. What Ighedosa did not know was that in the shadows of a dark hut at the edge of town, a familiar face was waiting. His fallen uncle, scarred and bitter, whispering to the stranger. You played your part well. Now let us finish what we began. The game had only just begun. The next morning, the marketplace was not the same. Where there had once been trust, now there were whispers. Where there had once been laughter, now there was suspicion. The stranger's words had fallen like poison into the hearts of the people. The stranger stands among the traders, speaking with a loud, confident voice. Brothers. Sisters. I am one of you. Blood of Oseji. Yet Ighedosa has hidden me, stolen my inheritance, and sat on what is rightfully mine. Murmurs rippled through the crowd. Could it be true? He has documents. But Ighedosa lifted this market from the ground. Without him, we'd still be in the dust. But what if Ighedosa lied to us all along? Ighedosa heard their voices, and each word pierced his chest like a spear. Ighedosa sits with Efua, his face heavy with worry. I fought my uncle. I fought hunger. I fought shame. But this is different. These people are starting to doubt me, I mean the market people. Efua, firm, gripping his hand, then we will not fight with fear. We will fight with truth. If he is lying, there will be cracks in his story. We must find them. That night, Efua began asking questions. She moved quietly through the marketplace, listening to the stranger's story again and again. Efua overhears the stranger talking to his guard. Stranger, angry whisper, I told you, never speak of the man who gave us these documents. If the people discover who trained us, everything will fall apart. Efua's eyes widened. She hides in the shadows, her heart racing. Efua, whispering to herself, so, there is someone else behind this. But while Efua searched for answers, Ighedosa's enemies worked harder. The stranger began giving away free food, free goods, free promises. Slowly, the poor began to cheer his name. Slowly, the market began to tilt away from Ighedosa. A few days later, the stranger raises his hands as people cheer for him. Ighedosa is not the only son of Oseji. I am here too. And together, we will make this market greater than ever before. Some voices cry out, yes. Yes, while others stay silent, torn between loyalty and doubt. Ighedosa stood at the edge of the crowd, his heart burning. He could see the tide turning. If he did not uncover the truth soon, the inheritance he fought so hard for would be stolen again. Not by force, but by lies. And in the shadows, his uncle watched, smiling. The trap was working. Whispers turned to rumors. Rumors turned to doubt. And doubt began to grow like a thorn in the market. But while Ighedosa felt the weight of betrayal, Efua moved like a shadow, determined to find the truth. Efua follows the stranger's guard quietly. The guard knocks on a wooden door, looks around, then slips inside. Efua hides behind a tree, her heart pounding. Efua, whispering to herself, who are you meeting in the dark? Through a crack in the wall, Efua peers inside. She gasped as she sees the face of the man they thought was gone forever. Efua, shaken whisper, "No, it can't be, the uncle." The uncle sits on a mat, his face scarred, his eyes burning with hate. The people doubt Ighedosa more each day. Soon, the market will be ours. But, some still trust him. His wife, Efua, asks too many questions. If she keeps digging, she will uncover everything. Efua's hand flies to her mouth to keep from gasping aloud. She slips away quietly, her heart racing. Efua rushed back to Ighedosa. Her face was pale, her eyes filled with fire. "Ighedosa, listen to me. The stranger is a liar, he is not your brother. I saw him meeting with your uncle this night. I am just from where I went tracing them. Your uncle is alive, and he is behind all of this." Ighedosa freezes, his fist clenching as anger and betrayal wash over him. "Why won't my past leave me in peace?" Efua, lifting his chin, steady and firm, "Because your story is not finished. Ighedosa, the people believe lies because they have not yet seen the truth. We must bring it into the light." And so, the seed of a plan was born. Ighedosa would not fight with fists. He would not fight with violence. He would fight with proof. And expose the uncle's web of deceit before the entire marketplace. But the uncle was not a man who played fair. And he was already one step ahead. That night, as Ighedosa prepared to reveal the truth, the uncle whispered to the stranger in the shadows. "Tomorrow, Ighedosa will try to destroy us. We cannot let him speak. Do you understand?" The stranger nods, his eyes dark. The stage was set. The market would either see the truth or witness Ighedosa's fall. Morning came with a heavy sky. The market was restless, waiting to hear Ighedosa speak. Whispers filled the air, some believed in him, others had already turned away. Ighedosa knew this was his moment. The truth had to come out. But he did not know, a deadly trap had already been set. Ighedosa climbs onto a wooden stand. The people gather. The stranger stands to one side, arms folded, a sly smile on his lips. Ighedosa, raising his voice, "My people, you have heard the stranger's claim. You have seen the documents. But what if I told you, those papers were forged? What if I told you, there is a hand behind him, an old enemy, who wishes to destroy everything we have built together?" The crowd stirs. Some lean in, eager. Others frown, doubtful. One of the traders shouts, "Then show us proof, Ighedosa, we cannot live on words alone." Ighedosa, firm, "I will. Tonight, I will reveal who stands behind him. But first, know this, I have never lied to you. I rose from nothing, and I built with my hands, not with deception." The crowd murmurs louder. Some nod, others shake their heads. But just as Ighedosa's voice grew strong, a cry ripped through the air. Chaos in the crowd. A man suddenly collapses in front of everyone, clutching his stomach, groaning in pain. The crowd screams. Two more fall. Panic spreads like fire. Trader shouts, "The food. The food is poisoned." Pointing at Ighedosa, "It was Ighedosa, he wants to silence us." The crowd turns wild, shouting, pushing, eyes burning with fear and anger. The uncle's trap had been set perfectly. Food that Ighedosa himself had donated to the poor days earlier, now poisoned in secret. And the people believed what they saw, Ighedosa's hand behind their suffering. The stranger leaps onto the stand beside Ighedosa, pointing at him. "Stranger," shouting, "you see. He cannot be trusted. He poisons the very people he claims to serve. Is this the man you call leader? Or is he a thief and a liar?" The crowd roars in agreement, some throwing stones, others spitting. Later that night, Ighedosa and Efua hide, shaken by the day's events. Ighedosa, in anguish, "They hate me now. The uncle has turned them all against me. My name is stained, my hands accused of blood. Efua, maybe I should leave." Efua, fierce, gripping his arm, "No, Ighedosa. That is exactly what they want. Do you not see? If you run, they win. We must fight, not with fear, but with truth." We must show them who poisoned the food. Only then with their eyes open. Ighedosa looks into her eyes, broken yet burning with determination. Ighedosa answered, softly, then tomorrow, we fight for everything. But in the shadows, the uncle laughed. Uncle, whispering to the stranger, the people now hate him. Tomorrow, they will call for his removal. And when that day comes, his inheritance will be mine at last. The trap had been set. Ighedosa stood at the edge of ruin. But one spark of truth could still burn away the lies. Night fell heavy on the town. Ighedosa's name was now in the mud. Children whispered in fear. Traders spat when they mentioned him. But Efua refused to let lies bury the man she loved. If the uncle had poisoned the food, they would find proof. Or lose everything. Ighedosa paces the floor, fist clenched. Efua spreads out scraps of paper, listening to every detail Ighedosa remembers about the food delivery. I gave that food myself. Bags of rice, baskets of beans, jars of oil, all pure. I checked them with my own eyes. Then someone touched them after you did. We need to find where the food was stored before it reached the people. She looks up, her eyes sharp. The storehouse. The couple move silently through the shadows, lanterns in hand. The storehouse door creaks. Inside, the air smells of dust and damp grain. Ighedosa kneels, running his hand over a sack of rice. Efua picks up a jar, sniffs it, and coughs violently. Efua, covering her mouth, poison, strong poison. Ighedosa, this is it. Ighedosa's jaw tightens. He pulls open another bag and finds a small pouch hidden deep inside, powdery substance clinging to the cloth. Ighedosa, whispering, so it's true. Someone poisoned it here, before the food reached the people. But before they could take the proof, a sudden sound cut the silence. Footsteps. Voices. The door slams open. The stranger walks in with two guards, holding torches. His eyes widen when he sees Ighedosa and Efua. Well, the fallen leader digging in the dirt. Looking for someone to blame for your own crime. Ighedosa, furious, you poisoned the food. And we have proof. He holds up the pouch. The stranger laughs, steps forward, and kicks it out of Ighedosa's hand. The powder scatters across the floor. Now you have nothing. The guards move closer, gripping clubs. Efua grabs Ighedosa's hand. Whispering, we can't fight them here. We must escape. Ighedosa and Efua dash out of the storehouse as the guards chase. They run through narrow alleys, lanterns swinging, dogs barking in the distance. The stranger shouts behind them. Catch them. They must not live to tell the tale. Ighedosa pulls Efua into a hidden passage between two houses. They squat, breathing hard as the guards rush past, torches blazing. Ighedosa slumps against the wall, face wet with sweat and anger. We almost had it, Efua. Proof, in our hands. And now it's gone. Efua, gripping his shoulders, Ighedosa, we still saw it. We know the truth. And if we saw it once, we can find it again. We will not stop until we drag your uncle's lies into the light. Ighedosa stares at her, her fire steady even in the dark. Slowly, his strength returns. You are my light, Efua. Without you, I would be lost. The hunt was far from over. The uncle thought he had erased the proof. But Ighedosa and Efua had seen too much to turn back. The battle was no longer just for the market. It was for the truth itself. And the truth always fights to be revealed. The market got filled with anger. Children went hungry, families wept, and fingers pointed at one man, Ighedosa. The council of elders called for a gathering. The people would hear Ighedosa speak. But what they did not know was that the true enemy would also be there. The crowd gathers, restless and furious. The elders sit in a row, their faces stern. Ighedosa and Efua step forward, hand in hand. Whispers rise, some in pity, some in hate. Elder, raising his staff, Ighedosa, you stand accused of poisoning your own people. Do you have anything to say before judgment is passed? Ighedosa looks around at the sea of faces, faces that once cheered him, now filled with doubt. His voice is steady but heavy with pain. I did not poison the food. I gave it from my heart. But someone poisoned it after I touched it. Someone who hides in the shadows. The crowd murmurs. The stranger steps forward boldly, laughing. More excuses. More lies. If not you, then who? Name this ghost you speak of. Efua steps forward, her voice sharp and clear. The ghost has a face. I saw it with my own eyes. The man behind these lies is none other than Ighedosa's uncle. The crowd shouted in surprise. The elders exchanged shocked looks. The stranger stiffens, his laughter fading. Lies. The uncle is dead. Efua, pointing at him, then why were you seen meeting him in the night? Why did he order you to silence me? The crowd erupts, voices rising. The elders bang their staffs for order. Suddenly, from the edge of the market, an old voice cuts through the noise. The crowd parts as the uncle steps forward, alive, his body thin but his eyes burning with hate. Uncle, raising his hand enough. The market falls silent. Mothers clutch their children. Ighedosa stares in shock, his fist trembling. Yes, I live. And yes, I send them to poison food. Because Ighedosa is not worthy to lead. He stole what was mine, and I will take it back, even if I must burn this market to the ground. The crowd gasped in horror. Some stepped back in fear. How much more blood must you spill? You lost your right to this market when you chose greed over family. And now you poison the very people you wish to rule. Uncle, snaring people are sheep. They follow whoever holds the whip. And I am not afraid to use it. The uncle pulls a dagger from his robe, pointing it at Ighedosa. The crowd screams. Guards rush forward, but the stranger blocks them with his men. The market explodes in shouting. Some push forward, others run back. Ighedosa stands firm, his eyes locked on the uncle. Efua grips his hand tightly, whispering but fierce. Do not be afraid. The truth is stronger than his blade. The truth was finally in the open. The uncle had revealed himself, not with words of wisdom, but with threats, poison, and roaring. The people stood frozen between fear and hope. Would they follow the dagger of the uncle? Or the courage of Ighedosa? The market's fate hung in the balance. The market held its breath. A dagger gleamed in the uncle's hand. One move and blood would soak the ground. But the people had seen enough. They could no longer pretend not to know the truth. Ighedosa stands tall, Efua by his side. The uncle circles him slowly, dagger raised. The crowd pushes back, fear and rage mixing in their voices. Uncle, snarling, step down, Ighedosa. Give me the market. Or I will cut the truth out of you. Ighedosa, voice steady, loud enough for all to hear, I will never step down. You poisoned innocent people. You betrayed your own blood. And now, the people must decide. Do they follow your dagger, or my truth? The crowd murmurs, torn. Some look down in shame, others nod, their eyes beginning to clear. The uncle groans, slashing the air with his blade. Without fear, you are nothing. Only I can rule you. Efua steps forward, placing herself between Ighedosa and the uncle. Shouts ripple through the crowd. Then strike me first. If you kill me, the people will know you as nothing but a coward who slays women to keep power. The uncle falters for a moment. His hand shakes. The crowd shouts louder, some crying out, shame. Shame on him. Others chant Ighedosa's name. The elders rise, lifting their staffs. Enough. We have seen the truth with our own eyes. Ighedosa gives life. You bring only death. Elder asks the people, who do you follow, Ighedosa or the uncle? The crowd erupts, voices thundering together. Ighedosa. 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 The uncle's face twists in rage. He charges at Ighedosa with the dagger raised. Ighedosa grabs his arm in the struggle. The blade flashes. Shout and scream fills the air. The dagger slips. In his fury, the uncle stumbles, and the blade cuts across his own side. He collapses to the ground, groaning. The stranger rushes to him, but the guards hesitate, no longer loyal. Uncle shouted but, weakly, to the crowd, you were mine, all of you. His words fade as he drops the dagger. Silence fills the square. Then the crowd erupts, not in fear, but in relief. The people rush to Ighedosa, raising him high on their shoulders. Ighedosa, lifted above the crowd, raises his hand. The market quiets again. Let this day be remembered, not as the day of blood, but as the day of truth. Power built on lies will always fall. From today, the market belongs to the people, not to daggers or greed. Cheers rise. Efua stands proud, tears in her eyes. The elders nod solemnly. The stranger slips away through the crowd, his eyes burning with hatred, but no one notices. The uncle's reign of fear ended with his own blade. Ighedosa's courage had turned shame into hope, lies into truth. But even in victory, shadows lingered. For enemies do not vanish so easily. The storm had passed. The dagger was gone. And the market, once drowning in fear, began to breathe again. For the first time in months, the sun rose over stalls filled with food, not whispers. Traders arrange fruits, spices, and grains. Children laugh as they chase each other through the alleys. Ighedosa and Efua walk hand in hand, greeted with smiles and bows. One of the traders begs Ighedosa, "Forgive us. We doubted you when we should have stood by you." Ighedosa, smiling warmly, "No need for shame. The truth tested us all. What matters is that we are standing together again." The crowd cheers. Efua hands bread to a group of children, who beam at her with joy. The council of elders steps forward. One elder holds the staff of leadership, carved from ancient wood, passed down for generations. Ighedosa, you faced lies with courage. You faced fear with love. Take this staff, not as a crown of power, but as a burden of service. Ighedosa accepts it, then kneels and places it before the people. This staff belongs to all of us. For a market cannot stand on one man's shoulders, it must stand on the truth we share. The crowd roars with applause. Some cry. Efua places her hand on his shoulder, proud and strong. And so, Ighedosa and Efua became more than leaders. They became a reminder that even when lies roar loud, the truth whispers louder. That power born of fear always falls. But love, courage, and truth never die. The market lived again. The people lived again. And their story would be told for generations to come. And that, my friends, is the story of Ighedosa and Efua, the couple who proved that truth can never be buried. What did you learn from their journey? Would you have stood with Ighedosa when the people turned against him? Tell us in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, share it with someone who loves powerful stories, and subscribe for more African tales written in simple, yet unforgettable ways. Until next time, stay strong, stay true, and remember, the truth always wins.